know, I'm sorry, in the last video I said we would add an email button. I'm going to push that back for a few videos, because I thought we should add a few things to actually finish up the invoice number first. So basically what we want is, this should be one. Alright, what we want is this to automatically, when you add a drop down box, to automatically pick up all of the available names. And if he's not in there, what we would like to add is a little button here where he can open a user form to add a new name. So first, to do that, what we want to go ahead and add a new sheet, and we want to add all of the lists. First of all, we want to add the name, then we want to add the address, then we want to add the city, the state, email address, I'm sorry, and let's add by pushing I'm sorry, I always get these mixed up. Control Enter will keep it in there, but we want to insert a new line, so it should be Control and Spacebar will highlight the whole line, and then you Control plus, and that'll add a new line. So let's go ahead and add a zip here. Alright, so now let's add John Smith's information. So then we email address is John Smith @gmail.com. I have no idea if that's somebody's email address. I just made that up, so please do not email that address directly. I apologize if that's you, John Smith, your email. And Gmail is MAIL. Okay, so let's go ahead and push Control T to add a table. Let's choose our style. I like that one. Let's make all of these a bit bigger. So right here, I guess this looks about right. Alright, so now let's name this table. By clicking in it, you'll get a table tools along the top. Let's go ahead and name this Customers T. Okay, and then after that, let's go ahead and name this Customers Data. CUS. Okay. Alright. So let's go ahead and add this right here as a named range by pushing Control F3. And you can see that's invoice numbers. I had worked with this before, sorry. So here's the customer name one. Let's go ahead and edit him and put him as, actually let's just delete it and redo it. Alright, delete. Okay. Alright, so by doing this, we can push Control Shift F3. That will create the new named range. Let's go ahead and push Control 3. Make sure it does. Here's the name, customer details. It's wrong, so we need to change this. And to do so, we need to hit Edit. This is going to have to change to customers. This syntax is pretty important. So the table name is customers T and you have to add this square bracket that is above the the double quotes, and the back bracket, which is right next to it. Well, for some reason, when I push the back arrow, it added it all. So then we just want to type name, and change this to customer name. Oh, it's because, okay, it's because I added customers instead of customer. So I'm actually glad that happened. So you have to have the equals in front of it too. So now we can make this right here by pushing Alt DL. We can make it customer name, which I have already done before. You need to change this to list. We've gone over this before. And then type by pushing F3, you can choose the name. Okay. Now this will give you a drop down box, and it'll be dynamic, so when we add Jane Smith here, this will automatically update. Alright, let's go ahead and remove Jane Smith because she's not one of our customers. Alright, so now what we want to hide this. Let's not hide it yet. Let's actually go ahead and add our button at our developer tab that we spoke of before. Remember, if that's not there, let's go ahead and go to File, Options, Customize Ribbon, and check the developer. Alright, so let's add a button, ActiveX button. Let's just put it right here. Make it kind of small here. I guess we want it a little bigger so we can actually read the text. Alright, now right click, choose Properties, call this CB New Invoice, or New Customer. Okay. And we might want to make that a bit bigger. I don't know. We're going to have to look after we do this. So our caption is right here. Let's go ahead and make it say new customer. Okay. And then we do not want to print the object. And that should do that. Alright, and since it is a bit smaller, we can drag it to, or you can double click this and it'll make it the right size. Alright, so now we're in the Visual Basic Editor by double clicking the New Customers button, and it brings us to this. However, this is not very easily done. So what we want to do, we want to add a user form here, and to do so you can either go to Insert User Form or just simply click this button here and it'll bring up this. So by pushing F4, it'll bring the I guess the properties up is what it's called. So let's call it FRM. Actually, let's just call it Customers. CSTO. And form. Okay. And let's add our caption. Make it say add a new customer. Okay. So on this one, we know we had, let's go back and look, but I think it's 6 fields. Yes, it is 6. So what we want to do, we want to make this a bit bigger, and go ahead and go to, if our toolbox isn't there, you can go to View, Toolbox, and it'll bring this up. Okay, so let's look for a text box. It's right here, and we just want 6 of them. I think I actually did 7. So let's delete this one. Alright. Now let's go through and name them. Call this and you actually can turn this into a combo box where it will have all the states, but we may do that at a later time. Right now we're just going to type it in. And if you want to add their phone number, you'll have to do the exact same thing accordingly on the table. You'll have to add a spot for a phone number. This is email. Alright, well let's go. Actually, this is text email. Well, let's actually go ahead and add a, just since I said to do it, let's go ahead and add one and call it text phone number. And by highlighting all of these, this is important. The one that is in the white brackets is the one that I guess you would say take precedence over all of the others. So all of the others will go to match it. So let's Control Z, undo that, and let's just make this one this big. Okay. And now if we want to make all of them that big, we can highlight it and see this is, and then right click, and you can choose make same size and width, and that will make all of them. So let's add some labels here. Okay, so we want this, what was this? This is full name. Oh. I'll pause this and fill this out so I can spare you the typing. Okay, so we've automatically, magically turned all the labels on, and so you can see it. Alright, now let's add a button here. This one's the command button. Let's add a couple of them. This one's going to say create new, or just say new. That looks better. Or add. We should say add. Alright, and this one's going to say cancel. Now let's go ahead and double click add. It'll bring, oh, I didn't name it, so let's delete this, go back to customers form, rename it CB or CMB, I'm sorry, CB add, and this is CB cancel. Now you can make them as big or as little as you want. Whatever you do with this is entirely up to you. Let's just make them the same size. So here's a perfect example. How I had this one and I wanted it the size of this one. So I had to click in there and it will add it. Then we right click. It'll make it the white. Make same size and width. Alright, so now we can drag this over a bit. Drag this over a bit. Make this a bit smaller. And let's just add one more label. So my company name. So whatever your company name is, you can put it there. You don't have to if you want, but I did. So let's go ahead and make the font size. I don't know where it's at. I don't know why it's giving me. I don't know. But we're going to want to add the. So let's. Apparently, I thought there was a font size on here. Sorry, I guess there isn't. So, I guess what we can do, we can. Oh, my company name's fine. Double click the corner, it'll make it the same size. Let's right click and we'd like to see the tab order. So what you have to do, you have to make sure the form's actually highlighted and tab order. So text full name is first, then we want text address. We move him up. Text city, state. Okay, so we got that. So now our tab order, let's go ahead and hit the green run here. Make sure our tab order is correct. It is not. I'll hit pause and you can see that in just a second. Okay, so we got all of the names there and we've got the buttons here. Looks like we can go ahead and double click cancel. And we can say me, that's the key word for the form, me dot hide, or I'm sorry, dot unload, or unload, I'm sorry, unload me. Alright, that will unload the form. Alright, let's go back here to add, double click add, and let's declare a few variables. And we're going to declare name, or f name, as string. And we're going to declare p address as string. We're going to let me look at all of them here. City, cannot spell, sorry. Okay. So basically, we also need to declare the last row, or I'm sorry, the next row. Integer. And now we need to get our next row. We also need to declare CData worksheet. Or we can just say data on this one. Alright, now we have to set that. So let's set the data equal to this workbook dot sheets. Now we're going to say customer data. Okay. Now we need to set our next row. Let's just put a few little notes in here and say dimming bar, and here we want to say setting bar, and here we're going to say, alright, next row. And we're going to say data dot cells rows dot count dot end, or I'm sorry, that's column 1 dot end XL up dot row plus 1. Alright, if you don't understand this, basically, to get the last row, which you can view my video on last row, getting last row in VBA. And then obviously I just add 1. So now we want to say, now we just want to say, okay. I guess we don't need all of these. Yeah, we don't need all of these. Alright, sorry to put you through the torture of my typing on that. Alright, so we want to say data dot cells next row column 1 equals me dot text name, full name dot value, data dot cells next row comma 2, and I'm gonna equals me dot text address dot value. I'm going to copy this so I don't have to put you through my typing. So I'm going to copy all of this. City. Did I? Apparently I did not add text in front of it. let's go ahead and change that. And we want to say email. Sorry about that. So now we're going to have to simply just change the column here. And we're going to have to add the phone number here. Alright, so this is going to be 7. Alright, and that should do that. Let's try it out. Let's add Jane Doe here. Alright, let's run. Say Jane Doe. Address is 123.4 Main Street. The city is Indianapolis. Hers is Jane Doe at Gmail. And her phone number is okay. Now let's hit add. Oh, that's right. Let's hit stop. We got a compile error because we didn't change that. So let's hit stop. Let's go back. And I also saw something that I did not do. We just called it zip instead of text zip. Alright, and now we want to clear these out as well. So make sure. And this is just so I don't have to type it all. You can type it if you want. This is just saying, this is clearing the user form out in case you want to add multiple lines or multiple customers at once. Alright, so now let's go ahead and say run. Alright, and we're going to say Jane Doe. We're going to say 123.4 Main, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46251, or whichever one, Jane Doe. At gmail.com, and her phone number is 1. Here we have a bug, and it doesn't like the sheet reference. Let's stop. I probably, oh, I see exactly what I did. Okay. Now I'll pause it so you don't have to go through my terrible typing again. I'll just type the, hold on. Okay, I've typed the information back in. We hit add, and it automatically adds it, automatically clears it. We hit cancel, and it cancels it. Alright, that's perfect. Now we have one last thing to do. Let's make sure we got two things to do. Let's make sure Jane Doe shows up here. It does. Alright, let's double click this. It's going to bring back Invoice under new customer. And now what we just need to do is say customers CUST dot show. Okay, we have that's taken care of. Now we need to do a simple VLOOKUP on these two. Equals VLOOKUP, and if you notice that I highlighted both the cells, we want to look up that. We're going to lock the cell reference, just the rows, and the table array is going to be customers table, and we're just going to say all. Our column index, the address should be number 2 and 0, so we hit that. So now it shows both of them, and this is 3. That's going to show Indianapolis. Copy this, put an ampersand, space, space, ampersand, VLOOKUP, make this 4, copy this, actually we'll just type it out, ampersand, space, ampersand, VLOOKUP, and make this 5. Oh, that's because we forgot the ampersand. Alright, and that gives us what we want. So when we change to Jane Doe, it changes. When we change to John Smith, it changes. Okay, that works great. Thanks again for watching, and we will gladly, the next one will actually save the information so we can look up our old data. Thanks again.